Thank you, Paula. Evening, folks. My name is Adam Beck. My partner saddling up beside me is Steve Benz, and we've had the opportunity over the last 3 days to really get out and about and talk to a lot of folks around the ideas around green infrastructure and other sustainability issues. And we grounded ourselves in something that hopefully is familiar, that's something that is existing, which is the general plan. And you can see that just the general plan itself provides not a bad sort of framework for the broad issues and elements of sustainability. And we just wanted to really build upon this key issue of green infrastructure. And when we pull out the conservation section, you can see there that it calls up a number of other issues. And we're really coming in now with a layer of green infrastructure which helps with a number of those issues. And I suppose what we're proposing in our little piece here is maybe something around a working title of a green infrastructure retrofit pilot program. And green infrastructure is a nice idea and it's a nice concept, and then in practicality on the ground it really is giving maximum bang for buck. Not only are we addressing issues around water quality and health, but it's providing those other multiple environmental benefits, reducing urban heat island effect, increasing biodiversity within urban areas. So we find it as a really nice intervention that achieves a lot of outcomes. And as you can see here, as I've mentioned, across the water piece, reducing heat island effect, therefore comfort on the sidewalk as well, increasing urban habitat, decreasing energy consumption. We think that it's a nice value proposition. Thanks, Steve. And I suppose just not to give you a heart attack on 200 slides of all of these things that we think are great ideas and trying to work out how to do them. You know, this is just a quick representation. You know, Steve and I, in an hour, just mocked up a quick implementation plan for sort of this green infrastructure retrofit concept. And so imagine what happens now when we hand this over and you really get stakeholders together and take this forward. You can see that you'll be able to really ground truth this. But bringing some method to the madness of implementing these things. We were just sort of putting things in buckets. So the hardware and the software. The buildings and infrastructure projects, the people and behaviour. Just very crudely mapping out. What are the cost of these items? High, medium, and low. But what are the benefits? And of course, the concept here would be trying to max up the L and H's, maybe starting with those first because it's low investment, high impact. So that's fine. Well, who's going to do this? Let's start mapping out who's responsible for what. It ain't the city every time. No one's got endless buckets of money. So really looking at public-private partnerships. And not to forget third sector, non-profit academia. So there's a bit in there for everyone. We're sharing the investment strategies here, and then of course, as has been highlighted, particularly in Paula's presentation, the stuff we can do right now. The city's tearing up streets today, yesterday, tomorrow. So there's interventions that can start right now, and then always looking forward and building a pipeline of projects. 1 to 3 years, 5+ years. That's what we can do in an hour, handing this over and getting capacity with the city and the community working together. I think there's a lot of hope. And in that, in terms of wrapping up, I'd like to hand it over to Taran.